Oh,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sacred Travel Podcast. And today, my guest is Melanie Trayers, and we are going to be speaking about the land of the goddess, Avalon. It's a land that is shrouded in mist, so stay tuned for a lot of remembrance and code activations. Melanie is a multifaceted, witchy priestess, a mother of two, a Bikram yoga and hot Pilates teacher, and lives with her two children and her husband in Zurich in Switzerland. Next to running an Irish pub, she offers private and group classes, yoga therapy sessions, and trains to be a shiatsu therapist. She says of herself, I do love people, and I feel like I was put on this planet to share that love and to serve my community. As a reflector, she is in constant process of learning to set and keep healthy boundaries while at the same time embracing her openness as a gift to deeply connect with and hold a healing space for other people. She is here to experience the full spectrum of this human existence, from heart-bursting joy to gut-wrenching sadness, without judging, instead opening up for healing. Welcome, Melanie. Welcome,
thank
welcome. I'm
you.
so
Thank
happy
you.
to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited to share because also, apart from the beautiful bio that I just read, you and I went to Avalon together last year. Wow, it feels like so many lifetimes already. And still, it is so alive. And so, we are going to be talking about yeah, your experience there. And first, I want to know, how did the call of Avalon find you and also finally lead to that serendipitous moment to embarking on that travel journey?
Yeah. I'll give you a very brief look back. When I was 17, I read The Mist of Avalon. I found it on a flea market and devoured it and thought to myself, if that religion was still alive, that would be me. But I grew up in the north of Germany. Christianity was the only thing available. I was always quite spiritual. I did go to church. I had a favorite prophet even when I was young. I wanted to become a nun. And
I love that.
it's funny, Isaiah.
Mm,
Years later, I found out that the religion is very much alive in different facets. I
yeah.
found out, I came across Scott Cunningham's Wiccan book, Introduction to the for the solitary practitioner, something I can't quite remember what it's called, and I read that, and then I thought to myself, well, great, I'm never going to meet a witch. I can't go into training. And the next day, I went into the Irish pub where my husband worked, and I met a girl, and sure enough, she was a Wiccan witch, and she showed me my first rituals. She trained me a little bit. Um, then with kids and job, you do other things, you do all the adulting. And in the past year and a half, I felt the calling more and more. And I said to my husband a few times, I need sisterhood. I need women together.
Mm,
And it was very strong. And then Jenny, who you already had on the podcast before, told me that there was a
yeah.
women which you were leading, and I signed up for it a few weeks in advance. The day came and I thought, oh, I don't feel like going. I, felt a bit sluggish and I wanted to stay in bed. And my husband actually said, you need to go to this. You're going to meet somebody. And sure, I did. You had it beautifully laid out. There were yoni cards, and I pulled a card and it said yoni of a deer kind, with the deer. And I said, oh, that's funny. That's like Avalon. And you turned around and you said Avalon. I said, yeah, that's my favorite card deck. And, I have a special connection. And you said, well, I'm going there in September with your people. And I said, come again. We're going to Avalon, bunch of witches. I mean, I had to go. And it was the most wonderful, wonderful experience. I'm so grateful we got to do this together.
I just love that story. And it tells us so much about really listening to these subtle moments when there is the nudge. And I can even feel how that hesitation was also part of that, I want to call it initiation already, because usually these callings are an initiatory path, right? And long up and also after the actual like connecting and being on the land, there is things that are happening in our field and happening inside of us.
And as you say, the resistance was there, but it always is when there's a process, when there's an upgrade, when there's an initiatory process, because part of you is like, no, I don't want to let go. I want to hold on to
Yeah,
it, but I know,
yes. So share with our listeners, how was it then to finally like walk the land and be of this or in that reality that was or had so long been a dream space for you, and also etherically connecting with the place, but then actually physically being there?
I get emotional and my skin is tingling when I think about it, when I go back. It was beautiful. I got there. I was the first one of our group to get there. And straight away I felt so connected. Like I've never felt that connected to the earth. It's like every step you take, it's, you're kind of the suction almost, and you feel so
Yeah,
rooted. And I felt it going through my body. I've never felt that before. Yeah, it's very juicy. Everything was very alive.
completely.
Yeah. And there were also throughout the week difficult feelings, but I feel like I wasn't judging them so much. It was all part of the experience, and there's so much learning going on. Yeah, it was quite spectacular.
Hmm, love it. And when we talked earlier, and I know that you always sell that, yeah, you don't feel quite comfortable with that priestess label. And I also know that Avalon was quite a big accelerator for you embodying that path more and more. So can you share a little bit about how Avalon and the land like helped you with claiming that title?
Well, it was you as well, because you were given the space, you were holding the space, and this group we're in, and the fact that we're in Avalon activated something. I integrate magic into my life every day. I'm still not quite comfortable with the priestess because I feel like I've a long way to go. There's definitely a few more layers to shed, a few more ego deaths to be experienced, a few more upgrades. But I'm here for it all. She's definitely in there. She's coming out. Yeah, I definitely shed a few layers there, and it did activate this. Oof, this is what I need to do. This is what and I don't just want to do it in my home and, just hide it
Mm.
from everybody else. I'm quite comfortable now telling people that, yeah, I'm a witch. I practice magic. That's a cool thing. I love that. Like I enjoy life and everything so much more. It really helped me along on that journey. It's like I was bursting out of myself. And every day
Yeah, I
something
can.
else happened. Every place we went to, something else was activated. And there were a lot of tears as well, because you do let go of old beliefs. And yeah, it was really quite beautiful. And I'm very grateful to you that you were there holding that space for me and encouraging me, because like many of us, I tend to go, yeah, no, I'm not, I can't be a priestess, but you kept pushing me forward, and I need
in in a gentle way.
it's
Yeah,
it's a
my
loving way,
pleasure.
yes, but I needed that.
I guess everybody needs that, we need to be, especially as women, we need to be these mirrors for each other and allow the other to see what we ourselves so often cannot see
Yeah.
because it's veiled in a way. Yeah.
And what was beautiful as well, and you do the same in the women's circles that we have in Cafe Rumi, everybody knows straight away that there is no judgment. And that was very much the case. I mean, I didn't know the other women. and we came together, and it was really close straight away. And it doesn't need words. You don't need to explain. It's quite magical. There's no judgment. Everybody's so different. There were different archetypes, there were different levels of knowledge, of, you know, everything. It was so different, and we just gelled together and learned from each other. And as you say, we see each other, and that helps you see yourself better as well.
Completely. And I personally, I also feel that because we were in the heart chakra of the planet, like this is also what's activated, right? And there is a new layer in the heart that is opening up. So you have the capacity and the awareness to not go into this judgment, but like decide consciously to, even if there is feelings that arise that are not so comfortable, to stay in that space and just process. And so I'm curious to hear more of your experience of that heart opening, because before you said it felt like you were kind of like plugged into the earth. And that is also something that I, when I think back, was just like so profound. And then that being sucked into the earth, but at the same time, you know, this like super grand opening, like a V shape from the waist upwards.
Yeah.
So how was that for you?
There was always, and I battle with that little voice inside me that will tell me that this is, you know, this is all rubbish, and you know, don't you know, what's a priestess, what's a witch even, you know, just don't be absurd. But here the witch and the priest was like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you, I'm doing this is beautiful. And sometimes the energies were overwhelming. I'm sure you remember the first time we went to the White Spring, and we walked in, and you all took your shoes off. It's quite wet in there, and you were connecting, and you took your shoes off. I was so happy I was wearing my Doc Martens with a thick rubber sole, because I think I would have exploded. I walked in, and it was vroom, and I didn't even take in half the things that were in there. It was so much and so emotional. And that was part of me also holding on and not wanting to really open up, because it's also, it can be scary, you know. And I went outside, and you walked after me, and you checked if I was okay, and I was shaking because the energy was too much. I went back, and it was fine. I took my shoes off. We took everything off. We went into the White Spring, and it was a gorgeous, beautiful experience. But the first time, sometimes it's a bit overwhelming, and you have to give it time then as well, and not judge yourself if there is parts that are still holding on or holding back. But yeah, that is one of the very special places I'm bringing my family back this year, and I can't wait to share.
Yay!
We're all going.
And also, I guess it's very important what you're saying, and I just want to add to that the White Springs are set to be held the masculine energy, because Avalon is very much a place where we have these two polarities coming together in that sacred union. And many times in our upbringing society, we don't know how to work and how to integrate these pure energies, because there are so many layers. And so that's why, yeah, it can be super overwhelming at first. And also the place has its own energy, but I guess you would agree that it changes during the day, and also with the people that are there. Is it busy? Is it less crowded? So
Very much so.
Very different.
You're mentioning the male aspect of it, and I feel like Glastonbury also changed, not my view of men or anything, but have a different connection to the divine masculine. Beautiful statue of the horned god in the White
Of
Spring.
course.
I
That
mean,
was yours.
that was mine. I mean, I had to make a replica. Do you remember? I don't know. It changed something, because I'd been focusing on the divine feminine. It was always the goddess, and you know, the God's always there, but a bit further back, I think. Something that's not surprising because everything's been quite male oriented. So, you know, I think we need to bring back the female with a bang. But yeah, sitting in front of that goddess statue, and there's so much kindness as well, so much kindness and vulnerability, which you don't normally associate with the male. Yeah, so it definitely changed that, and it made me grateful for all the wonderful men I've had and have in my life. It definitely, that was beautiful as well.
That is so beautiful and profound. Because I also feel that these things is like we don't expect to when we go to these places, right? And then it's the almost like these, it can be these overwhelming moments, but it's also these like subtle shifts that just happen. And then when you look back, you're like, oh, wow, that really changed like my view and my perception, and also then in turn the behavior.
Yeah, when I was sitting in front of that statue, we'd all just come out of the spring, and I knelt in front of it, and I don't know if this is weird, but it felt like I can surrender without being submissive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 It gave me that, and that's beautiful.
Hmm.
We don't have to fight all the time. There's a lot of fights we have to do, but we don't.
No. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. No more fighting. Wow. That's awesome. And I also know that you had quite a profound experience when we went to the West Kennet Long Barrows. So if you feel called to share about
Yes,
that one.
yes, that was quite a big one as well. It started with the meditation that we did on top. Do you remember we did a meditation where we're invoking dragons, and I still know my dragon name. Yeah, so I was already in this state, and I remember that I couldn't sit still during the meditation. I was moving around, and then we walked down into the long barrow, and there's 5 chambers if I recall correctly. So there's a tunnely thing, and 2 chambers on each side, and a big chamber at the back. We walked through to the back chamber, and I looked up, and there's a little hole that connects it to the
Mhm.
outside. And I looked up and I thought, oh, look, there's my belly button. And I thought, what? And then I looked around and I thought, I'm in my uterus. Now I know
Wow.
that does not make sense. I have an anatomy teacher that would go, okay. But I know that doesn't make sense in that way. But it was so clear. I was in my uterus and I was looking down and I said, it's so dirty in here. Everybody left their crap. I need to clean it. And I felt like going down on my knees and getting all the stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, but I was just looking around and just taking this in. It felt like I was standing in my uterus. It was so powerful. And you were at the end, you were just coming in, and I said to you, come here, Julia, you get to stand in your own uterus. And you came in. I feel like adding that this was not aided by any medicine.
Well, the medicine of the land,
Yeah, well, you
the,
know,
the
any
energy
substances,
running
let's
through
put
the
it that
land.
way. Because some
That's
people will be
powerful
like,
enough.
okay, what did you accidentally swallow? No, it was just from the land. And you came in and I started shaking and I started crying. And you held me and you said, let it out, or I can't remember what your words were. And it was going through me and something had to come out. And I feel quite, I mean, the hairs on my arms
Mm.
standing up. Um, I don't know how long we were there for. It was like I was birthing something. And then it was good. I felt better and you let go of me. And I said to you, I think I'm gonna have to birth myself now. And I
Yeah.
walked through this tunnel and there's light at the end and it felt like I was birthing myself. I know, it was so awesome. Like that was so cool. Yeah, that was so deep. And I have to say, after that, then I felt ready to do the witchy thing. I was like, right, we're doing this now. This is who I am. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. You birthed your witchy priestess self
It did.
in there.
Didn't even hurt.
Yeah. And it didn't even hurt. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps, and shaken now that you bring back this memory, and it was also just so profound to witness you in that. And I mean, still now, I could cry now because
Oh, you know.
it's, I mean, these places just leave me in awe of how much energy is present and what we can tap into if we are present with what's happening. And like we really, I had another person say the other day, and I love that expression, when we participate in where we actually are and what happened there. And that was so, thank you for sharing. I know that it is super vulnerable, but I also feel that it really helps a lot of people understand what these places activate inside of us. And then, also you going through your process with your mind. I'm like, where am I? Belly button? Is it like up or down? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And you go like, shut the up. It doesn't like,
Exactly.
it doesn't have to make sense. I'm feeling it. And like, this is my experience right now. So can we please like all participate? Also, mind, you're welcome to like, just be present with the body.
Yeah, that's a big part. A big part of it is to listen to my heart and my gut, my belly, more, my body more, and not have everything edited by the noggin. I do that. We all do that.
We all
Everything
do that.
goes through the, where you have a feeling, you have something, you're experiencing something, and straight away your brain has to go, oh, that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. We're going to take this out. We're going to put this in. We're going to layer it with experiences, with some scars that we've had, and I want my brain or my mind to be more of a facilitator of what, I want feelings or things come up from my gut, and my mind will go, okay, we'll make that happen. That's cool. And yeah, not have a goddamn opinion on everything.
I love that because I feel that it also very much is aligned with what you said about the non-judgment.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. Yeah, directly feeds into that, because when we have to make sense of stuff, we do judge it. And if that can be turned off, or at least, the volume down a little bit, then it's a lot easier. I try to then go, when it's too active, I go, thanks for sharing, thanks for sharing. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to trick our mind into relaxation often.
Maybe do a breathing technique where you breathe into the right side of the brain more than the left. Stuff like that also helps.
Mm-hmm.
I heard something the other day, who said that? Emily from Ziva Meditation said, praying is talking to God and meditation is listening. And I think that is so beautiful.
Mm,
That's helping me
yeah.
with meditation, because I just go, psht,
Mm-hmm.
listen, psht, listen. What other
It
beautiful
is.
places did we visit in Avalon? I want to go back now.
Yeah, I know. Every time I'm having these conversations, I'm like, can I book a flight tomorrow?
Yeah, I know.
Like, go there. Yeah, so tell us what is still like stuck with you? What other places where you feel that there is a memory that is still very present and alive within you?
I feel like the place itself is almost like a bubble. Remember that things were
Yeah.
happening. I'm not even talking about the madness of the numbers we kept seeing. That was
Oh,
insane.
wow.
But also, one of us kept disappearing. She was just scary. She was just one
The
second
fairy.
and then she was gone. It was very fun. Remember that one time when I was behind you and you were at the Red Spring, I think we were meeting, and I was trying to run after you, and I was running, but it felt like in one of those movies, one of those comics where they're running but they're not really making any progress. So after a while, I was like, well, I might as well stop. Just, walk and take in what's there. And there was a few things that I had to pick up then, a few flowers and a few things. And I told you, and it makes complete sense in that environment. Everything's a bit, I mean, you see Merlin some guy dressed up as Merlin on the high street chatting to some homeless guy. All these witchy shops with the beautiful crystals and everybody it's just the energy. It's just beautiful. The Abbey blew me away, of course.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty mad. I can't even tell
I
you
feel
what happened. You wanted to say something? Go on, you go on.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't even say what exactly happened, but it was one of those where I felt so cushioned. I don't know. It was like sitting down and yeah, I don't know. It was very warm as well because I told you when I was young, when I was 8, I wanted to become a nun, So I don't know if I was born in a former life. I was told that I was a monk in a former life. I can totally see that. And I felt very connected to Jesus, to Joshua, and that's a beautiful thing, because
Well,
because I say I'm a witch, it's not I'm Jesus and me like this, I'm a boy.
of course. And well, he was a witch too. He was a magician. So, and I feel, because of all of these labels that whether it's we give them to ourselves or we just accumulate them over time, sometimes it's also very important to check in with ourselves and see if we are not like too attached to these titles or labels. It was interesting. I mean, it's another story, but actually I had my priestess identity like shattered to the ground on my last Egypt trip, and like really take that apart and like puzzle it back together. And so it's funny that you're bringing this up because I feel also that we have, again, like it's the mind that is giving us these concepts of how this person has to be or not. But if we look under the baseline current that is always there, and even take monasteries today, all of these people subscribed to have a spiritual life, and for some it is religion that is present, and maybe also in some of our lifetimes it is religion that was present, and going like a layer deeper, there is that universal truth of that we are all divine beings, we are all God, and even like Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and they were avatars of this immensely great heart opening energy. And it's also like no wonder, because Avalon is of course also a place where all of these people, avatars that are holding that rose lineage, what it's called, they were present because it was also this ancient place of worship, of coming together and receiving teachings, being initiated into certain truths. And so we can access that still nowadays. And so their consciousness is like super present. And especially, oh, I'm so sorry.
Apologize. I'm
Let it
I've been sick
all
all.
out.
I'm so sorry.
Let it all out.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely
just
feel their presence there. You can definitely feel it. Oh yeah. Are you going back?
I am going back. I mean, for sure, I'm going back.
Yeah, well, I was
Yeah,
talking this year.
so
Soon.
no, actually, I just decided a couple of days ago that this year I'm not going back. I was debating whether to bring a couple of people also this year, but yeah, it would be too much. So next year I have Avalon, and it's going to be I am super excited about it, because it's going to be a back to back trip with Iona, the sacred Isle in Scotland, where it's a lot about like the feminine energy in the Hebrides. And so, yeah,
Beautiful.
that's meanwhile, I'm connecting in meditation and connecting to the place and living and feeding off the codes that were activated last year. Yeah.
Enjoy burning the incense that we made together. That was another beautiful experience we had in that little chapel.
Yeah.
Really, really, really beautiful. I still have some of it.
Yeah. So if any, oh, I do have a lot of it. I'm so maybe, yeah, I'm like very cautious with it for some reason. I feel like, no, I have to guard it. Yeah, so for some of you listening, there is a Magdalene chapel, and we got to meet the I think he's the caretaker of the chapel. Very beautiful, heart powered man, and he is a mirror. So he is doing all of these blends of incense and oils, and we did a workshop with him. So if, yeah, that is something that you are interested, you can definitely reach out, and I will let you have his contacts. That was such a beautiful, beautiful experience, which I felt also connected me back very much to my own connection with Mary Magdalene and the Mirror Four tradition, which is a priestess tradition as well. And it also, I mean, if we go back in the Bible and like can read all these stories about how she balmed Jesus and anointed him, especially like for this huge preparation that he was undergoing. That is all part of the masculine and feminine honoring and veneration, and all of this wisdom through these herbs and nature, and how we can actually use them to, yeah, like to work with our divine nature, but also anchor this divine nature into our physical body to have that physical experience on the earth.
Yeah, it was very nice. He had lots of stories. It was very interesting. Egypt, and yeah, no, he was a very, very interesting character, and the place
Mm,
so beautiful, so calming with that beautiful garden. The Red Spring was another one that was
mm,
lovely. I remember meeting this older woman. I don't know how old might she have been, in her 70s, I'd say. And she was looking after the garden. She was just pulling out weeds, and I thanked her for doing that. And she told me that she'd moved to Glastonbury a few years ago, and this is all she wants to do. And I was thinking, that's all I want to do when I'm old. Look after the garden in the Red Spring. Yeah, so peaceful. And again, empowering. That was empowering. That place felt like it was gently giving me a lot of strength to embark on my journey some more.
mm. Which again makes sense because this is the female part, and that is very much connected to the womb space, and like red having that significance of our blood as well. And so, I mean, blood is also our DNA, and that is stepping into our legacy. So it's really like the physical codes and information that is running through our bodies. I love that.
Beautiful.
It's just funny because you were saying before, about that like running
Yes.
experience. And I guess everybody can relate to that, and dreams definitely. And overall, I just felt that this place is, it's like a wormhole where time is so stretched. Like the concept of time is like completely
It's
not relevant.
yeah, just a made up concept, and we were constantly going, what time is it? What? We've been here, what, 4 hours? But it felt like 10 minutes. It's yeah, it's a bit mad. But absolutely beautiful, because then you don't pay so much attention to all that stuff. You're just in the experience because it doesn't matter. You know, you'll be here
Yeah.
for, okay, we have to be at a certain place maybe once a day and we have to do a few things. But other than that, we were just immersing ourselves
Yeah.
in the place and just connecting. And I very much enjoyed that there wasn't a super strict schedule either. We were kind of flowing, and you could do that because there wasn't that many of us. No, it was really nice. Lots of card decks. We pulled a lot of cards. It's really, really nice. I want to go back.
Well, you'll go back soon, 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 soon.
Oh, but as you say, you connect to it. You can connect to it all the time, and I do. You know, I sit in front of my altar, and I'm there. It's an energy thing. You don't have to be physically there. You can, plug into it from wherever you are.
Yeah, completely, completely. Well, we haven't spoken about that guy yet, so
No,
I'm
because
so
it is.
tell us about your experience with first meeting the tour.
First of all, it's different every time. It's like it
Yeah.
has such a different energy every time. And that's not just the weather, and it's just it feels completely different. Even I don't know, it's almost that might sound weird, like even the density of the building feels different every time. The first time, I don't know, I just felt very comfortable and like homey. I just wanted to stay there. I just wanted to sit, put my back against the wall and just, snuggle up and stay there. I just felt very embraced by it. And I know that historically, a few not so nice things happened up there, but I didn't feel that. I think that comes through at certain times, but I just felt very, very welcome. And of course, the view is just breathtaking. I just wanted to take it all in because I love that landscape. I love England. I've always had this, I feel so much,
Hmm.
especially there when getting walking up that hill towards the tour is like, oh, can I not just be here forever? What was your first, what came up first? What emotion or what?
Ooh, well, thank you for asking. I mean, you were there, so I feel to me that was one of the most overwhelming experiences that I had walking up. Um, and I can feel tears coming back right now. Um, yeah, there was just a lot, and I feel that that was really like the center point that had been summoning me, and not just me, but also like where I had been receiving information from in terms of like bring women, bring priestesses, and bring, yeah, witches or whatever they might define, but like bring them here and have them activated on this land. And then like they go back into their families with open hearts and open wombs, where this seed of creation for like that new awareness, new consciousness is really being seeded further. And so for me, that was like command control in a way. And so
Yeah.
like finally being there was just like all of this energy coming up. And um it's also for me it's always interesting because I have a strong analytical mind, and like I go down any and every rabbit hole to read about places and history and herstory and everything. But again, it's very much, and I soak it all up like a sponge. But then when I go to these places, it's just like another layer, and where information from here almost like drops into the body. And then it's like a deeper comprehension or understanding of like, oh, this is what it feels like. Whoa, okay, I get it now. Like I got it, but now I get it. I know what we're talking about. um, and yeah, often that overwhelm just comes with like big emotions, tears, and also I feel, and that happened to me also on other places, but the tour was a similar experience when we are finally confronted with an energy that is very different or so intense to what we are holding in our bodies, something else needs to leave
Yes.
so that we can integrate that and so that it can come in. And oftentimes that is some sort of emotion or just a moment for yourself where you have to breathe and sit with it and like take it in and okay, I'm allowing you to enter me. And I think that's what happened. Like I cannot really explain it, but it was just like this awe and gratitude to finally be there and like yeah, touch and see and feel. And I know that the two of us, we just had to take off our shoes, no matter how
Yeah.
warm or cold or wet it was. But like walking bare feet. Yeah.
All the way up, yeah. And I remember that I felt very, very connected to you. It was very nice. It was a very nice we're sisters experience going up there, experiencing that for the first time was very, very beautiful. I feel like that you just said that you have an analytical mind and you think you devour everything information about a place, but then you go to the place and it's like, oh, this is what we're talking about. And that's almost like I'm studying shiatsu, and it's a little bit like the diagnosis there. First you talk to the client and they give you all
Yes.
the way down. They give you they're here because of this and this and this and that. And then you make contact with the body and the body goes, no, 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 no. We're here because of something else. Don't listen to it. It's amazing we need to learn to let that come through more unfiltered. Also, the tears that just came to my mind. Sometimes in my case, I feel like when I feel so overwhelmed and the tears come, it's almost like a, a spiritual or emotional, like a reaction, like an immune system almost,
Mm-hmm.
because you have these old things that your nervous system's like, no, this is safe, we're still alive, because that's like, my job is to keep you alive, woman, and you've been doing this all the time, and it's safe, it's fine. So when something new comes in, it can be scary, so all systems go, whoa, 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 we're not doing this. So then, as you say, you have to allow it and go through this uncomfortable period, which might be tears or shaking or something, whatever it is that comes up. So then you can integrate, and your nervous system's like, okay, that wasn't too bad. We're still alive. It's all good.
Completely. And at the same time, often it's also a remembrance. And you
Yeah.
might remember that there was a lifetime where you exactly stood here or walked here, and maybe it wasn't safe, or
Yeah.
maybe it was, and it's still like this remembrance hits you, and it's so deep, and like you feel like these deja vu moments, right? Or you actually have a past life experience that can also happen, and it might be overwhelming. Yeah.
Still, if you let it happen, it's quite beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Now I'm not scared anymore. That's also something. It's also something that happened there. I used to get a bit scared when these things happen. You go, oh, that's so freaky. But no, I don't. And now, I'm very quite happy to be uh, in the dark woods by myself. Nothing can hurt.
Mm.
They're all my friends. Um, yeah, so that's much nicer. Actually, a few weeks ago, I was in the north of Germany. That just came to my mind there. And I was driving in the countryside with my best friend, and we were trying to get home to my dad's. And I took the wrong turn, and we were in this tiny little road, and there was dark woods and just a one farmhouse standing there. And I said, well, that was wrong. And I turned around and she said, oh, that looks scary. And I said, that's not scary. That's just beautiful trees in the dark. Turned around and the number plate on the car that was outside the house was Hexe, Hexe, which is witch in German. And my best friend pointed at it and looked at me. And these things happen all the time.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the universe is speaking to us all the time. We just have to see and listen.
it's a bit gobbled up sometimes. Not always understand. Like, what do you just send me an email?
Yeah, that's not how it works. Oh, wow. Is there anything else that you feel that is alive that you want to share?
Oh, well, go there. Just yeah, I don't know. It was just such a beautiful experience from start to finish, and I'm very grateful that you brought me there. I'm very grateful for the other ladies that I met there, and for all that it kicked off. And I'm so looking forward to going back and some more, and I'll be sharing with you if I got another upgrade or two.
Oh, th that is out of the question.
This will happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I just find it a beautiful idea also to bring your family.
Yeah. No, my husband can't wait to get in the White Spring. He's on his own path. But you know, he's very much he always says that he sees the witch and the priestess, and he always goes, love being with a witch.
Yes.
Looking forward. The kids, they're
Uh,
teenagers. I don't know what they're gonna make of it, but I hope they'll take something out of it. I'm sure they
it's
will.
still exciting, right? I mean, there's still a lot of like exciting things to do, even if you don't want to go that deep. So,
We're gonna do Stonehenge as well. We're gonna do all the things with them, and I'll tell you how it went.
and I just um remember, when we first walked down the high street, I felt it was basically like a big theme park
Totally.
with
And for
like
witches.
witches and Harry Potters and Merlins, and so it's entertaining too if you want to have that side.
Totally, yeah. Oh, the crystals. She's gonna love the crystals. And he's actually into crystals. And remember when we went to Tintagel, and we bought a few crystals, and I brought one back for my son, and he
Yeah,
used
yes.
that. I'll actually show you. Oh, the listeners can't see it. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh my God. And he took that and
We
made,
have YouTube, so the people
yeah,
watching YouTube, they can see it.
your wand with that crystal.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cute.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I loved going back.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you to go back. And yeah, just anyone got curious now who is in Europe, it's not far, so definitely worth a visit. And if you want to wait until next year, I have a wait list on my website. You can sign up for that, and then you're going to be the first one to know about when the retreat, when the pilgrimage is happening. So thank you, Melanie. That was so much fun. I want to go back now.
We will, darling, we will.
We will. We
We
will
will.
be back.
We'll be back, definitely. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Same. And thank you for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.